My path of duty shall never waver. Embrace the cold blades of frost!
Fang blade of crimson flame! Blaze forth! This is it, everyone! The skies are counting on us!
Hey, welcome to Attack the Stack. If you like that, try this. BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle is a 2D crossover fighting game developed and published by Arc System Works. The game features characters from different franchises including BlazBlue, Persona 4 Arena, Under Night In-Birth, and Ruby by Arc System Works, Atlas, French Bread, and Rooster Teeth, respectively. After the game was released, characters from Arcana Heart, Senran Kagura, and Akatsuki Blitzkampf franchises, developed by Team Arcana, Marvelous, and Subtle Style, respectively, have been added to the game as downloadable content. Cross Tag Battle features 2v2 battles and tag-ins similar to Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite and Tekken Tag Tournament 2. The game received mostly positive reviews, with praise for the visuals, music, and online functionality and mechanics. Like Granblue Fantasy Versus, BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle is an easier entry point into fighting games. It's approachable and easy to pick up and play, but like any good fighting game, requires some skill to master. It's also got a pretty easy platinum trophy if you're into that. Dragon Ball FighterZ is a 2D fighting game developed by Arc System Works and published by Bandai Namco Entertainment and based on the Dragon Ball franchise. The gameplay is inspired by concepts from several other fighting games, namely the control scheme and team mechanics. Players each select 3 characters to form a team from an initial roster of characters from the Dragon Ball franchise. One character is controlled and can be switched with one of the other characters at any time. Players can also call one of their characters to perform an assist move, allowing simultaneous attacks and combos with the entire team. All 3 of the opponent's characters must be defeated to win the game. Dragon Ball FighterZ received positive reviews from critics, with many citing the game as one of the best fighting games this generation. The game's fighting system, character roster, visuals, and music were all highly praised.
Time to let loose an all-out war! The contestants in the previous P1 Grand Prix.
Persona 4 Arena Ultimax is a fighting game developed by Arc System Works and Atlas. It is the direct sequel to the 2012 game Persona 4 Arena, which itself is a follow-up to the role-playing game Persona 4. Set shortly after the events of Persona 4 Arena, the story focuses on the 2 protagonist groups, the Investigation Team and the Kirijo Group, who are trapped in a dimension known as the Dark Hour, where they encounter doppelgangers known as Shadows. As the story progresses, the cast meets the apparent culprit behind this, a teenager known as Shao Minazuki. While retaining gameplay elements from Persona 4 Arena, now the player can directly choose each character's shadow that changes the gameplay elements. Like the previous title, Persona 4 Arena Ultimax is a fighting game in which characters from both Persona 3 and Persona 4 battle each other using a variety of special moves, combos, and Persona abilities. Along with balance adjustments and new moves added to the returning characters, a new S-hold system allows players to charge up their attacks. Also new to Ultimax is the ability to choose shadow types for many of the game's characters. These shadow versions differ by being largely skill-based variants of their counterparts, employing a high-risk, high-reward playstyle thanks to reduced normal attack damage and an altered moveset with lacking defensive options. The game was well received by video game publications. Under Night In-Birth is a visual novel and 2D fighting game co-developed by Ecole Software and French Bread, known for the licensed fighting game Type Moon's Melty Blood series. Since its initial arcade release in Japan, Under Night In-Birth has received numerous version updates adjusting various system features and character attributes, as well as adding several new playable characters to the roster. The gameplay is similar to that of French Bread's previous Type Moon-based game Melty Blood and its updates, and Arc System Works' Guilty Gear and BlazBlue, with additional gameplay systems such as Veil Off introduced for the most recent edition of the game. Veil Off can be utilized if a character has above 50% meter, where, after a slight invulnerable state and blockable burst occurs, the character enters a powered up state where they are able to do more damage, as well as utilize their rapidly draining super meter without limitations.
Do you believe in the shepherds?
All I know for certain is that if shepherds do exist,
Tales of Zestiria: The Cross is a Japanese anime television series based on both Tales of Zestiria and Tales of Berseria video games developed by Bandai Namco Studios and Tri-Crescendo and published by Bandai Namco Entertainment. The celestial records speak of the existence of the Seraphim, a race of divine beings who give blessings to humanity and are offered prayers by them in return. Those who are anointed with the ability to interact with these spirits are known as shepherds, hailed as heroes for their prompt appearances in times of crisis while also being feared for their power. The shepherds are imprinted in common folklore along with the seraphim. Saray is a young human who has spent his entire life living in harmony alongside the seraphim in the village of Elysia. Fascinated by the myths of the celestial records, he embarks on a journey hoping to enlighten himself about the seraphim's history with mankind. He comes across a mysterious girl who desperately seeks the help of a shepherd to save the world, which is on the brink of being consumed by darkness. Saray's actions unknowingly lead him closer to the dream of peaceful coexistence between man and seraphim. BlazBlue Central Fiction is a 2D fighting game developed by Arc System Works. It is the fourth game in the BlazBlue series and is set after the events of BlazBlue Chrono Phantasma. It is also the final game with Ragna as the main protagonist and serves as the conclusion of the Azure saga that began in Calamity Trigger. Central Fiction's story mode is over 40 hours long with extra arcade mode stories separated into 3 acts. Following the gameplay from BlazBlue Chrono Phantasma Extend, there are additional changes and new mechanics. The new gameplay mechanics are Exceed Excel, a special type of distortion drive, which is executed by pressing or holding the overdrive input during overdrive activation. It begins with the character performing a specific attack in their moveset, and once it connects, the rest of the background shatters away into the overdrive background effect when the attack is performed. It dishes large damage, but immediately ends overdrive. Another mechanic is active flow, which acts as the opposite of negative penalty status. The character that fights offensively goes into an active flow, which boosts damage and recovery of the burst gauge. A character can only enter active flow once per round. Guilty Gear is a fighting game developed by Arc System Works. It is the 5th main installment in the Guilty Gear series. Guilty Gear Xrd was developed using Unreal Engine 3 with cel-shaded graphics in place of the series' traditional hand-drawn sprites. Following the storyline of the last game in the series, Guilty Gear 2 Overture, it introduced 7 new characters. The game has been praised for its cel-shaded graphics and approachable gameplay. The game uses a 6-button layout, 5 of which are responsible for the attacks, punch, kick, slash, heavy slash, and dust, and the other one for taunting or respecting the other player. There are several other techniques which are triggered with 2 or 3 buttons and pressed simultaneously. A burst gauge is filled as time goes by or when the player receives damage. Once the gauge is filled, the player can perform a psych burst to move away from the opponent. It unleashes a blast of energy that, if successfully hits the adversary, completely charges another gauge, the tension gauge. The tension gauge then allows the player to perform certain other special attacks. Skullgirls is a 2D fighting game developed by Reverge Labs and published by Autumn Games. The engine and playstyle for Skullgirls incorporates game mechanics such as tag team-based combat, character assists, snapbacks, and delayed hyper combos. The game can be played using different ratios of characters, with each player able to select up to 3 fighters on their team. The teams are then balanced based on the number of team members. A single character possesses more health and deals more damage, while larger teams gain the ability to perform character assists and recover health when tagged out. Players can also customize their character assist attacks. Skullgirls includes various unique features to address system and balance problems, such as infinite combo detection. When the game detects a looping combo through monitoring the player's attacks, the other player can break free of the infinite by hitting any button in addition. Skullgirls offers protection against unblockable attacks, which occur when a player, for example, uses a low-hitting move and a high-hitting assist attack at the same time, making it nearly impossible for the opponent to block. The game attempts to remedy the issue by offering a brief period of unblockable protection after successfully blocking any attack. Skullgirls received generally positive reviews from critics who praised the animation and gameplay mechanics. Power Rangers Battle for the Grid is a fighting game created by San Francisco-based game developer Enway, featuring characters from the Power Rangers franchise. Power Rangers Battle for the Grid is a fighting game in which players compete and battle using characters with different fighting styles and special attacks. Players can select teams of 3 characters to engage in one-on-one combat, and can choose to switch between them at any point during the match. When all 3 opposing teammates have been eliminated, a victory is declared. Ultra attacks can also be performed, calling on Megazords to assist with the battle. A story mode loosely based on the Shattered Grid storyline and written by Boom Studios' Power Rangers comic book writer Kyle Higgins was added to the game, along with additional characters, voice acting, and 2 new stages. In addition, cross-platform play was also added via a free update.
This is a tale.
The Seven Deadly Sins is a Japanese fantasy anime series by A1 Pictures and Studio Dean. It is based on the manga written and illustrated by Nakaba Suzuki. The anime features a setting similar to European Middle Ages, with its titular group of knights representing the Seven Deadly Sins. In a world similar to the European Middle Ages, the feared yet revered Holy Knights of Britannia use immensely powerful magic to protect the region of Britannia and its kingdoms. However, a small subset of the knights supposedly betrayed their homeland and turned their blades against their comrades in an attempt to overthrow the ruler of Lyons. They were defeated by the Holy Knights, but rumors continue to persist that these legendary knights called the Seven Deadly Sins were still alive. 10 years later, the Holy Knights themselves staged a coup d'etat and thus became the new, tyrannical rulers of the Kingdom of Lyons. Seven Deadly Sins follows the adventures of Elizabeth, the 3rd princess of the Kingdom of Lyons, and her search for the Seven Deadly Sins. With their help, she endeavors to not only take back her kingdom from the Holy Knights, but to also seek justice in an unjust world.
I am Oblivion.
Tell me, Ryder, is it business that brings you here?
Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite is a fighting game developed and published by Capcom. It is the 6th main entry in the Marvel vs. Capcom series of crossover games. Like previous installments, players control characters from both the Marvel Comics and Capcom universes to compete in tag team battles. Infinite features 2-on-2 fights as opposed to the 3-on-3 format used in its preceding titles. The series' character assist moves have been removed. Instead, the game incorporates a tag-based combo system which allows players to instantly switch between their 2 characters to form continuous combos. It also introduces a new gameplay mechanic in the form of Infinity Stones, which temporarily bestow players with unique abilities and stat boosts depending on the types of stones selected. Infinite was designed to be more accessible than previous Marvel vs. Capcom games, resulting in several changes to the series' traditional mechanics. The game also features a large emphasis on storytelling, with the series' first cinematic story mode. The plot follows the heroes of the Marvel and Capcom universes, who must work together to save their merged worlds against a new threat, Ultron Sigma. If you liked the video or it helped you out, click the thumbs up button below. It really helps us out. If you think it could help others, share it. Of course, subscribe for more content like this and more. And if you have anything to add to our list, feel free to comment below. Thanks for watching, and keep attacking.